Here we go. Here we go. We are live with our Thursday edition of the Prop Stars, October 30th. Of course, we do have an NFL preview to talk about, but there is other news going on. We had a crazy game in the World Series. Maybe it was not expected for some. We have an NBA season that's in full throttle now. Some pretty crazy performances going on. There's a little bit of college football news out there, right? A little bit of LSU news. TJ, you want to lead us off with that and let us know what's going on out there?
Yeah, we'll jump in.
Obviously, somebody was fired. Break us down.
Yeah, we'll jump into the World Series in a minute for sure. But this LSU thing is crazy, right? The governor has come out and said he is not letting the athletic director pick the next head coach. And I don't know if it's like a bit of a troll, but he's super pissed off. This is the same athletic director that worked for Texas A&M. And I don't follow college football like this, but this story I fell down the rabbit hole. And he is the same athletic director that had to give Jimbo Fisher $70 million payout, right? And now he's athletic director for LSU. And Brian Kelly is getting a $53 million payout just to get fired, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, but I guess this since the state university, this comes out of the tax dollars of taxpayers across the state, which is a freaking debacle, right?
I had no idea.
I had no idea either. And he's just super pissed off. And he literally said, Tyson says LSU want no scrubs. I know, but dude, now the governor, who's like supposed to be handling like, welfare checks for the poor people in New Orleans, is having to deal with sorry, I'm like sending links out. We got a late start today. But yeah, so he's just super pissed off, and he goes, the one thing I'll tell you right now is that guy is not picking our next head coach. And the athletic director's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean I'm not picking the next head coach? And it's just getting at it. It's out of control. And it's just kind of funny because the tax dollars, think about if you're like a guy that works at, New Orleans Stadium as a maintenance guy, and you see every 2 weeks, $284 is taken out of your paycheck for, state income tax or whatever the hell it is. And that's going to Brian Kelly, who's just like, give it to me, baby. Right. I mean, it's just I know Tyson has talked about it too. This buyout shit is like getting out of control. Like, it's way worse than NIL. Brian Kelly came in and tried to, instead of being himself, instead of being genuine, I get you want to, be part of the community. The community didn't take it like that. They thought he was being fake. You know what I mean? And now, I'm not saying Brian Kelly should be like, no, I don't want the $53 million, but this stuff cannot be negotiated in contracts.
It's wild to me.
Like,
I know their contracts, but like, you're supposed to honor your contract in sorts of bringing production. You have to have wins, championships, yada yada.
Yeah.
And instead, like, you get fully paid for not completing your task. And that's what's crazy to me. You imagine we went into our job and they're like, you don't have to finish serving tonight, but we're gonna fully pay you. Take the night off. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I guess
go
ahead. I was just gonna say there seems to be a muckiness about it. Like you said, I think it's pretty unbelievable for him to get paid out $50 million. That's wild.
Yeah, and like, I understand both sides, right? Hey, if you're going to sign me to 10 years, or I forget how long it was, but I know it was a very long contract. Then if you sign me to 10 years, you should honor that contract. And if I'm doing horrible after 2.5 years, maybe this is something I have to build. But there are far more college experts than me and you at this. But LSU, from everything I hear, they have the roster. They had a quarterback that was supposed to be a first-round pick. Brian Kelly, some reason, isn't getting done. I should have fired him this early. But there has to be some sort of thing where if you're not completing your task, yes, I understand if you're on a 10-year contract, LSU has to honor that. But I don't know if we want to fire you because you're that bad that LSU and the taxpayer should be giving you $53 million. And the governor is more pissed because it's happened with Jimbo Fisher when his athletic director was in. And it's kind of, I know where the governor's going with this too. I forget his name. It's, I don't know. I think it starts with W or something. First name. But athletic director isn't finding the next shiny toy. He's going after the coach that's just the hottest coach, and I'm just going to throw a bag of money at you. You see what I'm trying to say? Like Jimbo, Landry. Jimbo Fisher. I think it's like Will Landry or some shit like that. No. But yeah, it's Brian Kelly was such a rising star going to Notre Dame. Yeah, Brian Kelly was a great thing. Now this athletic director brings on Jimbo Fisher, which at the time was the hottest coach. You're not really reinventing the wheel by just giving a guy, $50 or $100 million, right?
Agreed.
Then Brian Kelly was this new hot thing, and then throws a bag of money in front of him again. And it just seems like what the governor is saying is, we're saying, fuck the research. I'm just going to grab the coolest, the hottest prospect, and I'm just going to give him most amount of money possible. And if we fire him, I'm going to make sure this guy gets paid. And I feel like the LSU governor was also hinting that maybe this athletic director is getting some kickbacks off the back end of these buyouts. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, of course.
He was hinting like, how could a guy be so bad and you have to give him $53 million? And then, is that athletic director maybe getting a $5 million kickback on some sort of back end? Even if it's
like $2 or $3 million just to sit there and to ice it out.
Exactly, right? It's kind of sad. But I want to talk about that because I think it's just funny that imagine if DeSantis said, hey, the University of Florida is not picking their next head coach.
Right.
We are. And that would just, and like the LSU governor isn't as much of a, big name as our Lord and Savior DeSantis, who got us back to work after 2 months. But I just couldn't imagine DeSantis saying, he couldn't say that for the University of Miami because Miami's a private school. But imagine when Florida State fires Norvell, which I'm sure is coming soon. They're going to be like, DeSantis, like, we're going to take charge of the new head coaching for Florida TJ, and Florida State.
Like, what's going on, man? All right. So I've never been the biggest fan of college football, okay? And I've heard Tyson and Jeff from Uninformed Fan, say how disappointed they are. And these are like some of your more loyal fans, okay? I know
you don't get any more loyal than that guy.
We know Hurricane Dave, loyal fan.
Yeah.
There seems to be such dysfunction in every level of the entire college game right now. You're talking about from the committee making decisions they shouldn't be making. You're talking about head coaches and people and directors buying people out and giving ridiculous contracts. Now you got players that can transfer anywhere. You got NIL, so they're getting paid. And then everyone who just wants to be a fan of a sport that's supposed to be pure. The whole reason why they watch college is because it's supposed to be less complicated and more pure than the professional product. And I feel that none of it is that at all, right? It's not pure. It seems impure.
No, and Zandy,
I feel that there's a lot of disappointment along the lines of the loyal, long college football fans. This is not college football anymore, right?
Yep. And Zandy, I agree. Government, stay the fuck out of sports, please. Right? And also, Tyson, who, we got Overman jumping in. Thanks for listening, guys. We love betting. We love fantasy sports.
100%.
We love it. But I've yelled this from the rooftops. I thought the NIL was going to be. Remember we talked about this? Johnny Manziel wants to sign. Johnny Manziel wants to sign 10,000 balls for the NIL. That's what I always thought it was. Oh, you want to pay him $10 a ball? That's $100,000. That's hard work. I mean, I know it's not like construction, but signing balls, going to commercials, showing up on time, that's real work. And I thought those guys were going to get paid for doing that. Hey, you want to promote my dealership? You got to show up to work at 9 a.m. It's going to be a 12-hour shoot. It's going to be a pain in the ass. We're going to throw you $25,000 for that. Come on in. That's not what the NIL is. That's what I thought the NIL was. We're going to use your image, likeness, and branding, and we are going to use that so you can make money. Because it's not fair that everybody's making money. No, but the NIL is not that. The NIL is, if you're good, we're going to put $100,000 on your doorstep. We're going to make sure your mom has a job. And guess what? If you don't fulfill obligations, that's fine. NIL should be once you become a star, good or not, I don't care. But if you're a star and you want to advertise for a company or something, but this whole NIL thing is going to ruin sports. And now we talked about this. We're prop stars, right? Like what Dustino is saying. Now we explained how NILs were in sports. Now player props. The sports, the leaders of each sport did not get ahead of this, right? They did not know how the player props were going to take off, right? And player props is somewhat ruining the integrity of the game, right?
Yes, that is correct, Tyson. Sean Overman, welcome to the Pop Sports Network. We do love extending our family. He's going to have another show Wednesdays at 9:30.
Yes.
We'll be doing sports rants. Obviously, the guy's got some information and some knowledge that somebody's
he's gonna be sending out some rape trades and no, but
it's gonna be guy, rape 101. No, he's not as bad as
in all seriousness, the guy knows guys. The guy, yeah, we got the wrong Sean here. But his Sean Overman knows sports better than anybody. And if you want to listen to just hot take after hot take after hot take, and he's gonna be your guy. Congratulations on his engagement to Taylor. Congratulations on his new home.
Life is happening.
I know Taylor's not super happy, but supposedly Sean Overman has a podcast gaming room in their 4.5 palace. You know what I'm trying to say? But Taylor's like, oh, he's already building the room. Da, 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 da. I can't wait to go over there and see it. I think you have to fly out there because it's so far away, but it is a palace, to say the least.
Very, very far away.
Yeah,
it's like
better than my
275 to something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's like 429 north for 45 miles, and then there's not even exit numbers. It's just like exit infinity.
It's like we got a great deal in the house. I'm like, you're barely in Florida.
Yeah. Hey, I'd rather have a nice house like his than my 300 square foot shack in Windermere. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
But
all right. Yeah,
I think
college is
but
tough.
prop stars college now. Yeah, so NIL sucks. Prop bets suck because now we don't even understand. We don't even know if the prop bets can actually, you don't know what you're betting. You don't know who's in on it. You don't really understand. Hey, this guy, I have the Steph Currys of the world we're not worried about. You're worried about that guy like Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench and shooting 19 threes. And you're like, Jesus, over under was X, So you have a lot of people that everything they bet and they lose now, they're wondering if it's a fix, right? And
do you think that players are coming on like before Jordan Clarkson hits the game and he just looks at Hard Rock? I wonder what my line's at tonight. You're on the app. Do you think that they're looking at their number and then are they playing in accordance too? That's the whole question, right?
Okay, so I will say this, and we're using Jordan Clarkson as a Knicks fan.
It's just an example.
I like
Jordan
the kid.
Clarkson, you're a great guy. We
Yep.
know you did it the right way in Utah. You deserve your money, and good luck out there with the Knicks, right?
But what's interesting is, it's the Knicks. It's also interesting. I love the Clarkson addition too. I think in the playoffs that could help Wu-Tang. But I have a customer that comes in, right? And he's part of an organization, not Omar Khan or anything like that. This is a low-level guy. I don't mean a low-level guy, but whatever. And I text him one day saying, hey, I'd love for you to listen to the show. I'm going to give you a shout-out. Your family was very generous. And he goes, oh, cool. I love to listen. I'm going to send the link to my family too. But if it's about sports gambling, really be a part of that. That's like right. I was trying to get him on the show. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Because why? He's a low-level guy, right, of a professional organization. But even him had the awareness to say, oh, if you're talking about betting or prop bets or stuff like that. You see what I'm trying to say? So I don't think he thought of that on his own. I'm assuming everybody in every major sport now is getting counseled on how to handle friends that are asking you advice about bets. I mean, it could be about weather. It could be about, hey, have you seen the practice reps of this guy, right? It's going to come to the point where all of our inside sources will no longer be inside sources because they will lose their job. And now with the cloud and everything like that, every text you send is going to be, a disaster, right? So you got to make sure every text you send, you have to be careful. And it's just kind of scary to think that
No, it really is. Johnny T said he heard someone make a suggestion that prop bets only allowed on parlays, so a player can't alone rig the bet. That's clever.
Okay,
You
so
know what I mean?
it's clever, but it's not. I mean, he's thinking about he heard that too, but that's why on and if somebody can help me out in the chat, there are some prop site. I mean, what's the biggest prop site? That's not that like the biggest. There's one where you can't do a straight bet on a prop bet. You can't even do it. It can only be 2 to 3 legs or more on parlays. I can't remember the site. It's like one of the most popular ones, like not FanDuel Draft. Underdog, right? Yeah, Underdog. So Underdog, you can't even do a straight bet, and I didn't like that for a reason. I'm like, that's kind of weird, and I don't even know if they did it because of that. But it's a great idea, Johnny T. Yeah, like Dustino said, you got to do 2 or more. And that was because they don't want to, the prop bets are so easy to manipulate. You know what I mean? Like I looked at Tua today. Tua's over 215 passing yards.
Right. I saw that.
Tua's making $40 million a year. He's not going to risk that. But you don't think, and I think Tua's a smart guy with very high integrity, right? But you don't think some guys that are like Tua, they're having beers with their buddies the night before, and they're like, man, you see your yardage at 219? Ooh, right? To manipulate a final score is a lot easier. Like Destino said about golf, too. It's you want to shoot a 71 out, you go 72. Like it's just scary. And these guys most of them make way too much money to manipulate and take the chance of losing your career. And I think that this is going to be a learning lesson for everybody. But there are a lot of people that are watching sports right now that are stepping back. They don't want to bet on it because they don't believe that if you lose, you at least want to lose the right way,
Yeah. I mean, especially like when you're risking big money in higher units and you're doing all that, it just really makes you wonder, You never really think twice about it when you're betting 10, 20 bucks. It's not a big deal. Yeah. You can make your bet with it and kind of get lucky and follow some trends.
Yeah.
But when you're really talking about life-changing money and you want to put racks, 5, 10,000 on a bet, something like that, like you're going to be like, I don't believe it, is what people
Yep. And like Destino said, it doesn't happen like, hey, man, let me buy you a shot and go over today. It ain't like that. It's you forming a relationship for 30 years. You've seen your uncle, who you love so much, who's going on tough times. And the uncle says, hey, can you help me out here and make sure you throw 21 times or more? Like, it ain't about even throwing 4. Just if you throw over 20 and a half attempts, you would help out, Uncle Ralph a little bit, or you just do it. Yeah. Or you just do what Jeff
Ralph's
does.
Been out of cold streak since 1984. Yeah. He's just asking you for one bone, come on, just go over on some throws.
Uncle Ralph was the first guy that gave you your first cold beer. And he's going to be the guy that takes your NFL, and he's going to be the guy that takes your NFL career down. You know what I mean?
Uncle Ralph.
But
what an interesting topic, man.
Okay, really quick though, we're gonna go into the World Series. I'm gonna tell you what fucking pisses me off every time I see Ohtani step up the bat.
All right,
Ohtani is making $2 million. Me and my dad were talking about this last night. He didn't even believe it. Ohtani's making $2 million a year up until 2034. $2 million a year, and then after 2034, he makes $68 million a year. $680 million deferred. And so his contract is from now to 2043. Right now, Ohtani makes $2 million a year. That's why I'm rooting for the Blue Jays, like I'm like I would for the Yankees. Like when Guerrero hit that home run after we went back to back, I'm like, fuck the Dodgers. And I don't know how MLB and Manfred didn't step in and be like, you can't defer $680 million. And if they were to come to me and be like, well, in the rule book, it says, I'd be like, fuck the rule book. You're not going to defer $680 million for maybe the greatest athlete of all time, just so you could get Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Tyler Glass now, right? You see what I'm trying to say with that?
Oh, yeah. All of them.
Like, it makes me hate the Dodgers. And, I know that it might force Cashman's hand to have to do it. I don't even want to. Like, if everybody does it, then you just got to keep up with the Joneses. But I don't want to even win like that. Like that's like you're cheating the system, and to cheat the system with the greatest player of all time really just
I mean, it sounds
doesn't
like
make it
Wall
right.
Street. You know how all those sharks, they sit there and they say, "Oh, I sold all these, I sold all these units and I get paid on this back end, but the payment date's not there, so I still get credit now." That's exactly what's going on. You're talking about people that are getting the best players for nothing and then using it later. And I get what you're saying, but if it's the system, it's the system. It's like in fantasy football. Like whenever we're doing trades, you got to use it. You know what I mean? Now you're talking about real life, real money. And I hate the Dodgers. I've been going for the Blue Jays all series, but I just feel it's one
Yeah.
of those situations. I mean, the rich get richer.
It
You know
just
what I mean? And it
irritates me because
sucks.
Otani's so good, and you don't have to do that, right? And I just was happy to see Blake Snell, who got store bought pretty much, right? Like he
Right.
just got.
But we
I'm
knew
just
that he
happy
had
that.
that in him to get shelled, right? Like we knew he could get shelled. I've always been somebody who's been nervous. I've won a fantasy title with Blake Snell. I've also gotten
Yeah,
Blake Snell when he's given up 6 ERA. Like the guy just for whatever reason loses it in the head. Last game when he got shelled, he came back out, did it again. I knew this version of him might show up. They were just teeing off on him right out the gate. I'm so happy that the Blue Jays can do it this way. We were talking about last episode how they just have these guys that are just like team guys, and you're kind of learning. They're making a
yeah,
name for themselves. The Dodgers
yeah.
already made a name for themselves. These are the guys that are making a name for themselves. They're hungrier. They haven't done it yet. They don't have the ring, and they're out there literally playing team ball, and they believe in each
And
other, man.
let's talk about, because like let's say like some of these bigger franchises, like the Cubs that won it a few years ago. Cubs did it the right way, and everyone said, the Rizzos, the Brian, all these guys, Contreras, Baez, all those guys came up through the system. The Yankees, everyone used to say the Yankees were store bought. We're the evil empire. But we bought a couple pitchers, but almost all of our hitters came up through the system, like Derek Jeters, Bernie Williams, Scott Brosius, and Paul O'Neill were discards.
Yeah, they were discards.
The Reds didn't want Paul O'Neill.
Right.
He was like a 270 hitter. Came to the Yankees and became a great hitter, right? Because of the hitting coach, which I think he maybe started last year with Cincinnati, but whatever. But Scott Brosius, another one. Oakland A's didn't want him. We took him. Alfonso Soriano made that famous statement. I always love that statement where they go, "Why don't you ever walk? Because like you always swing." And he goes, "You can't walk yourself off the island." You know what I mean? You got to swing the bat, right? But the Mariano Rivera's, like the Yankees didn't store by their team like the Dodgers did. Otani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Yamamoto they even bought because they had to go into the highest bidder. It's just all bullshit. I hate the fucking Dodgers.
I know, man. I told you last episode, it broke my heart to watch Freddie go in the way that he did because we discarded him, to go get Chappie. And it is what it is. And I know Double A was doing his thing, but I didn't believe in the move, especially to go to the Dodgers too, to see how dominant they've been. I'm glad they're losing, dude. And I hope they lock it down. It has nothing to do, Tyson, with America versus Canada. It has everything to do with right versus wrong. Give me a team who builds your team the right way and does like sneaky good free agency and acquisitions like a George Springer and whatnot. And you're bringing up a Vlad and a Bichette, and you got all these other guys that have come through your system. I love that, man. Like, and
it's like Johnny T says. Yep, Johnny T says the Yankees are going after Skeens. And okay, I would love to get a Screwball or Skeens, but I don't want to give up Spencer Jones. I would much rather have a lineup that's so strong top to bottom and not just mortgage it all for an ace that can only pitch 1 to 2 games in a playoff series. You see what I'm trying to say?
Gene. I do. That's un-American, Gene. You always root for USA in the Olympics. Don't ever say that blasphemous stuff on our show again. Thank you.
Yeah, we got our producer stepping in for
Lithuania.
Substituting in today. Do we want to start talking football or what?
Yeah, bro. We got Thursday night tonight. Dustino's prop said Achane 5.5 catches. I like Lamar's anytime touchdown chance. It's like plus 150. I was looking at that.
Yeah, Lamar anytime. That means he has to run it in, right?
Right. He's got to run it in. I like him for one. I don't know. I just like it. I think Lamar's back. I think he's going to run one in.
I tell you what, Tyson and I we're in a battle, and he's already like a 93% favorite to win, and we don't even have any point. We haven't even scored yet, but I'll give it my best effort, and I could probably say good game already. But I will say this. I'm going to do a little more research. But I think we took a week off of lead pipe locks with all these arrests. I had some sources get arrested, so we had to restart it all from scratch. I had to start a whole new system, right? But I love the Malik Washington over 29.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
Waller is out. They're going to be playing from behind, most likely. This is a huge game, right? If the Ravens lose, the Ravens cannot lose this game, right? They won last week with Huntley. The Dolphins are looking like, wait a minute, we just curb stomped Atlanta in Atlanta. The team that just curb stomped, just curb stomped Buffalo. Miami has lost to Buffalo and New England, who they outplayed both of those games, right?
Right.
And they lost at the end on some crazy bullshit. One was a kick return. One I felt like was the rough and the punter was horrible, but I mean it was the right call, but it was a horrible play. The Dolphins win that game if that rough and the punter is happened, in my opinion. Anyways, if you're the Dolphins, you're thinking we could be 4-4 easily, and we have hung with some of the better teams in the NFL, right? So Baltimore is in a must-win. Their division is falling apart. They can take this and grab it, but you got to go into Miami on a short week. I thought it was genius what the Ravens did by not putting Lamar in, letting Huntley go, and making sure Lamar, because you can't bring Lamar in after that kind of injury, right? And then play him 2 times in 4 days, right? So I thought the Ravens took a chance. They took a chance and won by playing Huntley, and they won. Now they get Lamar fully rested. Is Lamar good? I feel like Lamar's a little bit of a rhythm guy, though, right? Is he going to be able to come in and just be himself? I think so. Yeah, I think Lamar blows up. We had a blockbuster trade in our thing, Lamar for CeeDee Lamb, some other stuff that we can talk about later. But I think that Malik Washington over 29.5. He's a Tyreek Hill role guy now. He plays that Tyreek Hill spot. He's constantly in motion. And the big thing is no Tyreek Hill, no Darren Waller, right? The guy's averaging 5 to 9 targets a game. And I could just see him. They're starting to get the ball to him more downfield, too. He had like 2 longer catches last game, like 1 for 17, 1 for 13, I think. And his total yards were only like 30-something. But he had a touchdown. And I think that he's the number 2 target or number 3 behind Waddle and A-Chain.
I like a little action on Zay Flowers, too. I like taking his over and receiving yards.
I love Zay Flowers.
He's from Fort Lauderdale, right? It's his first time playing down south since he's been drafted. Lamar's already on record saying he's going to be popping out of his skin. He's ecstatic. And I think they're going to be trying to get him the ball in front of his hometowns. Definitely thinking. I do like the Ravens tonight. I do like.
They're probably a survivor pick too, maybe too, right? I think some of them, some survivor, some ducks are going to take
them. But I'm telling you right now, I ain't taking them. Say you're well advised to. The chips are definitely all in for the Ravens and for the Dolphins. The Dolphins had a situation like this a few years ago. They kind of have a crazy little series going on these last few years, these two teams. The Dolphins were like 2-7 and beat the Ravens and then turned it around and made it a winning season one year. Now, after that, you saw the Ravens kind of boat race them. There was a couple of bad games. There has been good history between Tua and Lamar going back and forth. And I feel like you get a fresh Lamar. You're getting a motivated Tua. I think you're going to see I kind of like the over is what I'm feeling in this game. I know it's Thursday night.
I know it's really so high, and it's Thursday night.
51.5, right?
Yeah, it's the highest of the week, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Johnny T. Do not take a road team on a Thursday game in your survivor pool.
I'm definitely not. I would stay away from it. I just think that Tua is dangerous, man. Yeah.
Also, Lamar and Harbaugh are coaching themselves to make a playoff run, right? McDaniels and Tua, something a lot bigger and a lot different. They're playing for their jobs, right? Sure. McDaniels might have been fired last week.
Food on the table. You're not trying to sit there and pay a car. Yeah. You're trying to keep food on the table, right?
McDaniels, I think, would have been fired if the Falcons would have beat him by 30.
Sure.
Instead, which a lot of people predicted, I think they really stepped up. They played behind his coach. Tua stepped up, threw for 4 touchdowns. Highly efficient, not a lot of yards, but highly, highly efficient. And, when that Dolphins offense is rolling, they look good. You know what I mean? And I just think this game is very interesting to me. I'm so upset I have to work. And we're in Orlando. It's a beautiful day out. It's gonna be down in Miami, it's gonna be in like the mid 60s.
It's perfect.
Not a cloud in the sky. Meanwhile, Jamaica, God bless them, is getting rocked by maybe the strongest hurricane in history, millibars wise,
Welcome
wind
to the next
wise.
minute city. They already have the plans out, talking about clearing land quickly.
It's sad. Barbie and I were looking at maybe doing a wedding there next year, but I don't even know if we could do that now. It's super sad what's going on down there. God bless all those Jamaicans. Really good people, hardworking people. But yeah, Baltimore Dolphins. This might be the most excited I've been for a Thursday night game this year. I just think that there's so much on the line, and I think you're just going to hopefully see both teams play like there's a lot on the line. And that's why I love Malik Washington. He's the guy in the slot. He's the motion guy. No Waller, no Tyreek Hill. Take Washington, lead pipe block, over 29.5 receiving yards. I might actually try to juice it up. Let me see if I can juice it up really quick and see what happens. Let's take him over 50 yards. You can get it at 3-1 almost at over 50 yards. He hasn't got over 50 yards all year, but I can see him gunning over 50. But the lead pipe block will probably be over 29.5. But anyways, anything else you want to see from that game? Have you seen how good Waddle's been?
Definitely see how good Waddle's been. I think he's showing us that he's definitely worthy of a number one. This game's going to be down to Achane, though, man. Achane he's been doing his thing quietly all year long. Throughout the Dolphins' up and downs, he's been the one consistency. A lot of people said that he wasn't big enough to run through tackles. The guy runs through tackles. People said, yeah, I mean, I think you could give him goal line touches. Of course, he's more dangerous catching the ball. And I think that's when you said that offense is so perfectly timed out, symphony of motion. I think you're going to see Waddle and Washington doing their thing. And I think Achane is the complement to the whole thing, man. The Ravens defense has not been the Ravens defense of past. That's why I really like the Dolphins' chance just to kind of make this a closer, scarier game. I hope people do take the Ravens in Survivor. I think the Dolphins got a swinger's chance, man. I know they're plus money to win outright, and even though there's so much on the line for the Ravens, I just feel this is it's sneaky. It's Halloween, right? You just know that creepy things happen, and I just wouldn't be surprised if Miami came out and punched them right in the mouth, man. It could be Lamar having to play for the last 2 minutes to win this game.
I agree. I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. Are you working tonight? We'll be working tonight.
Oh yeah,
we'll catch a second half. Rewatch rewatch.
We're not hoping for the runabout night tonight, but whatever. We'll take whatever comes over. It doesn't matter.
What about let's go to the next game.
Falcons Patriots.
That's going to be that's another one. Is Penix back?
Haven't seen if he's back for sure. You would imagine that they are doing everything they can to get him back in after that last performance.
It says he's questionable, but he's not even on like the standard injury report, so I feel like he's going to be playing.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Falcons obviously embarrassed. Held to 44 yards rushing against a Dolphins team that
worst rushing team in the NFL.
For dinner on the table. A Patriots team that you couldn't be going into a hotter situation. Drake May,
I know
the Drake, just literally doing things Tom Brady's never done before, and that's kind of crazy to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
making Foxborough a real thing. Like I keep saying, they're going to be a problem in the playoffs. I think Ramondre Stevenson was not it last week. Travion Henderson's still kind of showing it, but it's like I think that Vrabel's letting Drake get more comfortable with his weapons, and so you're trusting the arm more, and you're not needing to run the ball as much. And I think people are just expecting the Patriots to go run, and compliment. And I feel that they've been kind of fooling people that way. I think it's a great matchup. Atlanta, 44.5 on the line. New England's giving 4.5. I like the Patriots in this 100%.
Yeah,
I could see Atlanta scoring some, but I think the Patriots I think they're going to win for sure. I think they cover.
Please like and subscribe, guys. Yeah, I like that. A lot of people are putting the Patriots as a number one seed on the power rankings just because the Chiefs were slow early. Now the Chiefs are the favorites to win the AFC, but some people have the power rankings just because of Drake May. I mean, we were on record. This is definitely one where we were wrong. I thought they were still a year away from at least being a competitive playoff team. But now it looks like they went from, they kind of skipped the whole lose small, win big. They went from pretty much losing big to winning big, which I think Vrabel, a great leader of men, we talked about that, and a great head and a great quarterback can do that for you. Diggs is starting to step up, right? They have a two-headed monster, I think, because Trayvon's starting to get going a little bit, or no? Not really?
I mean, he is. It's just crazy to look at their wins. Let's go through the Patriots real quick because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Game 1 of the regular season, they lost to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we forget.
And they got curb stomped.
We forget about that. It was by a touchdown, but it was in New England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then after that, they beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins were in that game. They lose to the Steelers. Okay. So there's the 2 losses. And
those are 2 bad losses. Looks
right,
like that.
Right. And that was at home again. So this is them kind of figuring it out. Then they absolutely destroy and dismantle the Panthers. Everything changes when they go on the road and get the win against the Bills. That's the only game Drake May has thrown for 0 touchdowns. They beat the Saints and by less than a possession, or by 1 possession, right? Beat the Titans, they destroy them, and then they destroy the Browns. So a couple of bad losses, some good wins, right? Decent, but like we have seen them win a couple of games that we didn't think they were really gonna win. And they also lost a couple games we didn't think they were going to lose either. So, I mean, I think that they're fortuitous because we knew they had the easier schedule. And I think coming up,
the schedule is easy. Playing the Dolphins and Jets twice helps.
They're at the Bucks. I could see the Bucks beating them. Right? I mean, that's a tough game. You got to like Tampa on that one. But then they're home against the Jets. They're at the Bengals, home against the Giants, home against the Bills, at the Ravens, at the Jets, and then home against the Dolphins. Not a lot of losses.
Not a hard schedule. Yeah,
that's not a lot of losses in there when we're already looking at it. So they're definitely better than what we thought. But I thought a couple of those 1 possession games, they pulled out where it could have been some losses that maybe we thought, right?
I mean, Johnny T, Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey aren't even in the same stratosphere, right? Right now. RJ Harvey is like kind of turning into the guy. I mean, it's a 2-headed monster with Dobbins. He's the backup, but he's the goal line guy. He catches balls at the backfield. He can bust a long one.
They're scheming RJ Harvey. They haven't really schemed for Travion yet. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Travion Henderson has not been involved. But just like how
he could still be the lotto ticket. He could still be a late guy, and you just don't know.
He could be a league winner late.
They're going to continue to evolve into.
You just don't. And with Antonio Gibson getting hurt, you don't really give up. You don't release Travion Henderson. But you do not start him right now.
The Patriots are also on record saying they're looking to add another running back before the trade deadline. I was not happy about hearing that. You're like, as a Travion Henderson owner, you're like, get the fuck out of here. No. Just give him the run.
I know. And it's funny because I understand if you want to do that because you just need 3 backs that you trust because Gibson's gone. But don't make it public that you're looking for a running back. Now we're assuming that Trayvon's going to get bumped down to the 3rd string. I'm assuming that, Ramondre's missed some practice with a foot injury. And that's where like people are like, should we release Tyrone Tracy? And I held on to him as a Scatterboo owner, right? Because I'm like, you're literally 1 injury away from being the premier back on an offense that's trending upwards.
I just think Travion Henderson is such a lottery ticket. All it takes is just a couple plays. The dude will score, and then that's a wrap for the rest of the year. And they're on a team that they're going to be playing a very favorable schedule for the rush. So you got to love, no matter what, you're just hoping that your patience pays off. And he's definitely got the ceiling for it. All right, so that's Falcons Patriots. Here's one of the top matchups right here. You're looking at a survivor dream. I know some people are going to be taking this. It was one of my thoughts. Chargers at the Titans. I think this is I think the second best defensive matchup. The Chargers going into Tennessee. Tennessee can't do much. I do like DK as a little surprise action in this game because I think they're going to have to throw. You know what I mean? I think they're definitely going to be down. I think that Kamani Vidal eats. They allow 5 yards a clip rushing. I think Gadsden's still a thing. I think you're going to see, sprinkled in a lot of Chargers offense and then some garbage time from the Titans. I think the Chargers, it's 9.5 is a big number. Home dog on this? You think home dog beats the number?
I agree. No, I mean, Titans are not scared to get blown out, but Cam Ward, I think, is going to turn it around. I'm not taking those points just because Harbaugh, I don't know. I just don't really trust that team just yet. They blew up the Vikings at home. It's a good survivor pick, obviously, if you have the Chargers still available. But yeah, Seven Springs, you're also right about Dobbins. I mean, he's going to get hurt, and RJ Harvey is going to be a top 15 back after Dobbins gets hurt. And also, if Dobbins doesn't get hurt, they're going to start thinking about him for the playoff run. So they're going to really start giving RJ Harvey more. But yeah, Chargers, Titans. I'm going back and forth. Do I start Malik Washington and DK? And do I bench a guy like ETN? I got DK in that little. I love Malik Washington so much tonight that I just can't.
I mean, the Jags are at the Raiders. So you're really
I
making
know.
your bet on the game script.
Coming
Are they
off a
gonna?
bye.
I don't think they're going to be down and throwing. So I do like them having to run the ball with ETN.
Yeah.
It's a get right game
And
for him.
ETN looks good this year. Like he's got like a pop to him.
And let's be real.
He
If
just
Tyson
isn't really
just got
blowing
rid
up.
of him, let's just stop everything. If
You
Tyson
gotta
just got rid of him, you got to fucking start him. He's going to go
But
and
I
drop
also got
25
DK.
points
I also
for you in your
got
flex.
I also got DK from, so I want to start DK too, but I can't start him over Malik Washington. DK's going to sit on the bench this week, but whatever. Chargers, Titans, nothing pops out. Yeah, that's a big number on the road. We usually, we like taking the dogs, home dogs, but Titans are just too hard to trust, right? Titans are just too hard to trust right now.
They really are. They're 1-7 for a reason.
Bears at Bengals. This is a real interesting game.
Joe Flacco's questionable, man. He's a real 50-50 decision. That makes everything for this game. If Flacco plays, they can hang with the Bears. If Flacco doesn't play, I feel like the Bears probably get an
Tyson,
ugly
we're playing each other. Yeah, I know. It's the Bears. They're just a little bit of I know it's always funny when you do a trade with someone and you play them that week because I'm just hoping Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren don't connect for like 2 touchdowns and 100 yards because it's just like a bop, bop. But you're projected to beat me by like 50 this week, Tyson. So, Bears, Bengals. Yeah, if Flacco doesn't play, the Bears are going to win, right? The Bears'
100%.
rush offense has looked really good. Caleb Williams, every time it seems like he's trending up, he takes a step back. The guy has got every gift known to man. He just needs to try to find.
He still was getting off. I mean, we saw Swift and Montague. Those guys are going to probably be running the ball. Ben Johnson's got him dialed in. What do you think about the Trey Hendrickson move with the Bengals? And he's rumored to be on the move and them letting go Trey Hendrickson. I know Dallas is interested in him because we obviously were interested in Max, and they said Max Crosby's off the table. And
I know
we need a rusher.
Can you get rid of Parsons though, and then just pay for a 1-year rental if you're not like if the Cowboys would have beat the Broncos, you know what I mean? But I just don't know if the Cowboys are a playoff team. If they're not a playoff team, do you go out there?
On the cusp. Is this something that makes us a contender, or is this something
but
that
also,
you don't think?
I think Hendricks only signed a 1-year deal, so you would literally be getting a rental.
No, yeah,
and then,
of course, and he's too old anyways, and he doesn't stop the run very well, so it's not like you really.
So what are you going to give up, like a 3rd-round pick or something for a guy that you're only going to have for a year that doesn't help you make the playoffs? Yeah, But Bears, Bengals, I think Hendricks is stuck there. The Bengals really needed to win last week. They would have been fine. They would have been 4-4, chance to take that division over. Instead, you lose to the Jets.
Rips their throat out
at home. You lose to the Jets
loss, man.
At home. It's a horrible loss for Bengals fans. And if Flacco's out, I think the Bears win that game. The Bears are -2.5 in Cincinnati, which makes me think Flacco's not going to play, right?
Everything's kind of like Jamar Chase isn't going to be the same without Flacco. Higgins isn't going to be the same without Flacco.
Isn't that crazy?
Chase Brown. Say it again.
Isn't that crazy? We were so high on all the Bengals players, and now after 1 week, it just kind of comes crashing down.
Well, you're like everybody is like, oh God, Joe Flacco is so important to play. He's one of the most important fantasy players of right now because there's so much writing on it, dude. It's like it's a bye week. You need your guys. I need Higgins to step in this week and go do Higgins things. You know what I mean? Last week, one catch, 44 yards. I would take that this week. Like, just give me one strike, Just
Higgins
give me a strike.
Higgins been a little disappointing. Colts at Steelers. This is a big game for Pittsburgh. Colts are rolling. It's in Pittsburgh. Does Daniel Jones have one of those coming back to earth kind of games? Jonathan Taylor is the leader.
D's just not the same. That's what you're betting on. Is Pittsburgh's D going to show up?
I know.
Are the Colts going to continue to roll?
I know Omar Khan did not want to pay TJ Watt, and that's why he waited. He did not want to pay him.
50.5 too, actually.
Yeah. the Steelers defense, Aaron Rodgers has come in at his age, and he has to become the guy that needs to throw for 250, 300 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns, or they do not win. Right? Like that's the way. That's the feeling you get. The Steelers defense has looked at everything but stout, and when you don't have they got those corners because they thought we're going to have an amazing pass rush. Let's get big physical corners. But guess what? Now you don't have the pass rush. So now instead of 2 seconds to throw, you got 3 seconds to throw. And now those guys like Jalen Ramsey and Slay that are also older are getting cooked, right? That's crazy how that much of a difference. You thought your front seven was going to be that good that all you needed your DBs to do is play real physical, right? And
I think this is a huge game for Daniel Jones mentally. I kind of like this. I just think the Steelers are in a good spot to win this game. They're home and they're underdogs.
Can I tell you this too?
Yeah,
kind of crazy. Yesterday was a year from yesterday. Omar Khan graciously and generously took my family to a Monday Night Football game. Giants at Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
So I'm getting all these memories of the pictures. It brought back such amazing memories being on the field Monday night. Who was the quarterback that day?
Like, what's up? Like,
Who was the quarterback? Who were the quarterbacks that day? Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Now Daniel Jones is going back there.
Right.
Russell Wilson's on the Giants now, but Daniel Jones is going back there. And I just thought that was communicating. We're talking about kind of funny, right? How like he's back in Pittsburgh where he actually didn't have a bad game that day. He didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a great game. And now he's coming back into Pittsburgh with a whole new aura around him.
Regime, setup, aura, Jonathan Taylor, weapons. You're not a game manager. You're taking chances. You have a soft defense in front of you. You have Pierce, Downs, and Pittman and Warren all back.
It's great. Oh yeah,
all of
they're
them
so
like, bro. I'm like, oh god,
they're so balanced.
Still taking the Steelers because I feel it's like a Daniel Jones maturity game. We're gonna be able to, I think, look back at this game, even if the Steelers end up losing. You'll say that was a game where Daniel Jones figured it out, or that was a game where Daniel Jones took a humble step back to take 2 steps forward. Right? I think I think Daniel Jones is Dustino Friday night, 9 p.m. Click on him. He's always got some good, he doesn't call them lead pipe blocks, but he's got some good plays there. I think that Daniel Jones is one of those guys where he likes to be in that system, right? You don't want to get Daniel Jones to start freestyling, right? Like Patrick Mahomes, the greatest freestyler in NFL history, right? Yeah. Daniel Jones is one of those guys where you on the drop back, he can make right now. He's making every throw he can. For some reason, the Giants he's
couldn't throw the deep
system
ball
guy, right? You want him looking at his reads, using his checkdowns. You don't want him really going off script. You like him to know exactly where everything is supposed to be.
Like, put it this way. Is there a better feeling if you're a Patrick Mahomes fantasy owner or a Chiefs fan when you see Mahomes like step in the pocket and then he runs a little to the right and he looks behind him to make sure no one's behind him? Like, he's going to either run for 10 or throw for 20, right?
Yeah.
Daniel, the reason why I'm bringing that up is I want to see Daniel Jones like late in the year in the playoffs. Like, do you have that it factor where you don't trust those reads when it's 15 degrees outside? And now they might get home field advantage throughout, which I think is so big for them. But it's a lot harder to trust your reads in January than it is in October. See what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Indy's going into Pittsburgh, and it's going to be windy and colder. It's not indoors. It's not Lucas. So I think there's going to be an adjustment thing. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones wasn't used to throwing in those kind of conditions in New York. Obviously is, but Pittsburgh's just a little bit different, man. Moving on to the next game, your team, Niners, at the Giants.
Yep, it's Niners at the Giants. I mean, the Scatterbo injury broke every. Yep, the Scatterbo injury broke everybody, but from one of our inside sources, the surgery went amazing.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, I know, but the Giants are just deflated, right? We just want to see growth from Jackson Dart. I don't see us winning this game, but we want to see growth. We want to see some fantasy stats, preferably. And
But what happens
Scatterboo
if
surgery
Jackson
went
Dart
great.
wins this game against the Niners? Then
I
what?
don't know. I don't really know.
You don't
I
feel a
mean,
particular way because you just lost too many weapons. You just feel like it's like a rally victory. But you know how
I can be
sometimes
honest with
people
you.
talk about, hold on. You know how sometimes people talk about, you just always think that you need that team around the player, obviously. But what if Jackson Dart is just that guy who elevates everybody around him? And like you could just continue to
Yeah,
rally around Jackson Dart and he gets you a couple of wins and you're still flirting. I mean, obviously you're 2-6.
we're
You know
two
what
and
I mean?
six.
You're 2-6, but I
Slayton's
mean you
back.
get to 3-6 and you beat the Niners. I feel a lot better about it. Even it's just crazy to me that you lost all these weapons and they're still only favored by 2.5. That's all I'm saying.
We're
It's a
still
big
we're still competing. I can be honest with you. I was so happy to hear that the Scatterboo surgery went great, and
yeah.
it was like a clean break, which is disgusting to think about. And some people are saying the skin is what kept that foot attached. You know,
He's got
but
skin like leather,
it's
dude. Of course. It's
but it's
crazy.
he didn't tear everything else. So they say within 9 months he'll be back at training camp, ready to go. Yeah, I know, right? ACLs at MetLife, and for somebody that knows somebody, a very good friend of mine is in the turf industry. If this happened on turf, all these injuries, everybody would be freaking out. But these are happening on grass, so nobody's talking about it, right? But artificial turf has grown so much with technology over the last few years that artificial turf is safer, some people say, than actual regular grass. So I could see 10 years from now, everybody just using great companies like Field Turf
Have
and
to,
other
yeah.
companies
It's a
that
paradigm shift,
actually
man.
know how to install, know how to give.
You're
They
protecting
plug
your
in.
investments, are you not? Like you're talking about
Yep.
ankles and knees and all these things, but like you said, we talked about it last episode, as the evolution of tackles continue to grow and the evolution of the rules continue to mitigate whatever defensive players are allowed to do, there's going to be some sort of give and take. And I think that it's awesome to hear that the turf is actually safer than grass. That's great.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, but as a Giant fan, it sucks, man. You lose Scatterboo, you lose Neighbors. I love though how Slayton caught a deep bomb on a pass interference call that Dustino and I were not happy about. But Slayton, it looks like he's connected with Dart already. I'm excited for the Giants' future. I
Do you
love
think
how
he's a
good
play? Do you
Andrew.
think he's a plug and play this week?
I don't know why the Niners defense still scares me a little bit, but let me just look at Slayton's numbers from last week before we start talking about that.
He's on the
So yeah,
wire out there in a few leagues.
Slayton had 5 targets on his first game back. He only had 2 catches, 26 yards. We also had a 70-yard touchdown, 65-yard touchdown call back on a bullshit pass interference call. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't really know yet. That Niners, that game might not be a super high scoring game. Even though over-under's at 48.5, that's kind of crazy. That's a high total. But anyways, it started at 46.5 also, which is crazy. It jumped up 2 points.
You like that?
On the
You like that
side.
under right there?
I'm leaning towards the under. I have so many fantasy players in that game, so I'm like hoping I'm wrong. But
You're like, I
from a
need the over.
non-biased point of view, yeah, exactly. But yeah, Dustino likes the under. I kind of like that under too. 48.5. You know what makes me think?
That
Brock
seems kind
Purdy's
of
probably
high,
coming
man. I'm
back.
not gonna lie.
Brock Purdy looks like Brock Purdy's coming back.
Purdy is. It looks like he's playing.
Yeah.
In both games,
So
Purdy's played. He's only played 2 games. He went for like 270, 280, and threw like 2 tutties.
Yeah, he's looked good. Hey, Mac Jones probably got himself. You know, Mac Jones is going to probably make $10 million, $5 to $10 million a year for the next 10 years. So good for him.
He'll be the next backup quarterback for the Cardinals.
As a Giants fan, though, I'm excited. Andrew Thomas looks amazing. Dart and Dayball are one. I don't know who I want in the draft. If Dustino has any ideas, or Johnny T, Giant fans out there, I don't really know what we want to get because we're not going to go running back, obviously. Yeah, I'm hoping an amazing offensive lineman is there around the top 5 or 10, top 10 pick. I don't think we go defensive line because we're just so stout there. It's almost impossible to go to a linebacker nowadays with
Do
a
you
top
really
10
want to
pick.
win any more games just so you can secure yourself more of a premium talent?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. This year, there isn't that clear
Titans are
cut.
getting the number one pick, right? It's Titans and Jets. It's like a race for
Yeah,
those two.
and there isn't that clear number one pick, right? Like the Jets, I can see the Giants even maybe trading down. But yeah, I want to get some good draft capital, and I truly think we're 1 year away. You got Neighbors, Wandale Robinson, and Slayton as a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if we could get a number 2 receiver, that'd be great. But Dustino, the problem is, let's say we went to go get like a Waddle or a Olave. If we traded for one, that's money. You know what I mean? I'd rather go find a rookie receiver than have to go pay Waddle 30, 40 million a year or Olave 30, 40 million a year, right? But other than that, I think we go trenches, offensive line, but the core, again, the core is there, man. I'm just so happy how good Andrew Thomas looks too. He looks like, oh God, who's the guy from who's the Niners left tackle? Trent, whatever. Who's the Niners left tackle, Buff?
Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams. He looks like Andrew Thomas looks like one of those. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be there.
Yeah. He's a stud, man. I was gonna say he looks unbelievable. That's
Good
for sure.
morning, Tech Money. Thanks for listening, buddy. Yeah, Andrew Thomas looks like one of those dudes for the next 5 years. He's gonna be a Pro Bowler, left tackle. I think he stays healthy now. I think he's one of those guys now that's like, you know what? I have let down this organization for how much I've been hurt, and I'm ready to go. Yeah, Adani would be nice. I'm okay with Slayton there. Adani, we don't know enough about, and that pisses me off that he dropped that ball, but whatever. Let's we got to kind of wrap it up pretty soon, but let's
All right, so Broncos and
keep on going
Texans,
down.
right? It's a big game.
Oh yeah, I want to talk
Obviously,
about this game.
Texans
Go.
Texans are 3-4. They
Yep.
win this, they're 500, right?
And they're a scary 3-4.
And
I thought, yeah.
And they have a great defense. And CJ
Yep.
Stroud is starting to get it together. I feel like they're doing the rule. You know, you're not trying to feed your ex receiver, so you're able to spread the ball around. You're getting some production out of the running game with Marks and Chubb. I think this is one of those matchups the Broncos got to be careful. This is a huge game for them to win on the road, but not against a great – the line is 39.5. So they're already –
I got to give Jeff Schneider props here. He's ahead of the curve when it comes to the Texans. Yep. And not only was he ahead of the curve on the Texans, I give him so much props because he said it would be a blowout. And I could kind of see why he's saying it now. To me, Texans went from like 3 weeks ago, I'm like, their offense is so slow and lame. To now, they might have the deepest receiving core in the NFL. Like, you have Nico Collins, who didn't play last week.
Right.
Christian Kirk is coming back. Then you have Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Xavier Hutchinson, Dalton Schultz. Like, they have like 5 or 6 receivers that you could just put in and play that are really tough to cover in man coverage, right? And I just think that this team, with CJ Stroud getting going, and for him to just throw for 318 yards versus the Niners defense, I know they're hurt, but I just always assume the Niners have a good defense. I think the Texans are going to start looking like they might want to, we talked about it in the AFC. It's pretty much one playoff spot up for grabs, right?
So here's what's interesting about the Texans, right? So we already see their games that they've played, but they get the Broncos, then they get the Jaguars, and then they're at the Titans, home against the Bills, at the Colts. So Jaguars, Titans, and then home against the Bills. They could be looking at that game going into Indianapolis in like 3 weeks as a potential sway of that division. If things go, what happens if the Steelers beat the Colts and the Texans continue to stay hot? That division is no longer a runaway. It's kind of crazy how that defense is definitely keeping Texas in there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the schedule gets harder after that, but Texans look like this is a big game for them, right? The Broncos can lose this game
because they literally have a few winnable games that are coming up. Like it definitely matters.
I'm starting Jackson. I'm starting Jackson Dart over Bo Nix.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a feasible start too, man. Just because of that Texans D on the road, it could
Yeah,
very
I'm just
well.
like, I don't.
It's ugly, right? You don't see Bo Nix
Yeah,
balling out for 4 tutties. That's for sure.
I don't see him
Vikings
balling
at the
out there.
Lions. The Lions are one of the top favorite teams, one of the top
Yeah,
defenses. The line is 8.5, one of the bigger
that's
numbers.
crazy though. That's a big number. And if I was to tell you, if Sam Darnold was on that team, it'd be 3.5, right?
I mean,
And
Jordan Mason's kind of disappearing. JJ McCarthy coming
yeah,
back to helm. Everybody, I mean, what's JJ gonna do? Throw for 200 yards and shake you? Like, I mean, nobody's
yeah,
scared of him right now, and that's what the number shows. I feel that's all. I think that's what. And the Lions are just. Don't you think Dan Campbell's just gonna like just destroy them right now? Like, bro, I feel.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think
I'm all
that
over the Lions on this one.
yeah, this is going to be a game for me to really, as a fantasy guy that might be in talks with a Jordan Addison owner. This is a thing where I could see what's Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. What are they all about, right? Because
Um,
if McCarthy goes in there and can get him the ball, they're good. I think that if you're an owner of Jefferson and Addison, you are not happy to see Wentz get hurt.
not at all.
And I don't know if McCarthy was going to come back in and play. Wentz hasn't looked good, but he's at least sustained their fantasy numbers.
Kind of like Flacco to the Bengals. Just like he's somebody who can get their playmakers the ball.
Yeah. Is Jefferson and Addison kind of thinking, oh man, I know McCarthy's not a rookie, but we're going to call him a rookie because it's his first season. Is that going to be like, oh man, now we got to go through growing pains after we just had Sam Darnold last year and then Carson Wentz this year?
Right.
This is a big game for Minnesota. And if they win, I think it's going to be because of McCarthy. And if they lose,
I think if they win, it's because of their defense.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I don't think the Lions are stopped. Lions aren't getting stopped indoors.
You got
Lions
Jameer
aren't getting
Gibbs
stopped
going this week. I think that's good for you. I think they actually run the ball against Minnesota, especially with we've seen them give up the run as well. So
I mean Minnesota has a good run D though. They locked up Saquon.
Yeah, but Kamani Vidal shredded him, and I could see both David Montgomery
you're right.
and Gibbs.
You're right. Oh,
you know what I mean?
I take that back. You're right.
Yeah, I think that they could definitely run the ball, especially at home in Detroit. Panthers
what about
at the Packers. The biggest number of the week? No,
that's my Survivor pick too. I'm picking Green Bay and Survivor.
Okay, good pick. I like it. Carolina's plus 700. That's so nuts, dude.
And I think Andy Dalton's playing, right? Or is Bryce Young back?
I'm pretty sure Andy Dalton's playing. That was my demise last year. I thought Andy Dalton might still have a little bit. The red rifle, loading up a couple shots. No, he did not. He was absolutely shooting pellets.
Oh, okay, yeah. Bryce Young.
Red rifle.
Yeah, Bryce Young. Gun. Bryce Young's back. Okay.
Is he?
Yeah, Green Bay's. Yeah, he's in. Green Bay's defense is just so good.
I like that for McMillan. I like that for Tedero McMillan.
Yeah. How's Ted been this year? I haven't really watched him. I haven't watched him.
He's had a 2-touchdown game. He's sustaining targets. He's quietly like a top 20, 25 guy in his rookie year. He's definitely just you could tell he's going to blossom in the NFL. I think that there's still some good games to come. It just, the Panthers got to be down. And like, honestly, the Panthers at home have been kind of Jekyll and Hyde. They've been better at home than the road. And it's just about him getting the garbage time like I was foreseeing from the Panthers, because they've actually had a couple of games where, they were in the game. So they've been a run balanced team. And like I said, I think Rico Dowdle is definitely it over Chuba. I think Chuba Hubbard just doesn't have the ferociousness of which Rico Dowdle runs with, man.
Sean Overman just offered me Nico Collins and RJ Harvey for Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's actually kind of.
I mean,
tempting. When does Nico Collins come back?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's back this week. It's fair
RJ
trade.
Harvey has the potential, especially if he goes up. You can mitigate with what RJ Harvey minus Jahmyr Gibbs. You would say you're definitely going to win with Nico. Like you take Jahmyr Gibbs minus RJ Harvey plus what Nico has. I feel like you win that. Is that not how you feel?
Yeah. I don't think it's a horrible trade. My problem is Nico Collins is in concussion protocol, and RJ Harvey is just coming off that 2-touchdown game. but he is still the backup running back. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. He's selling him high. He's absolutely selling him high.
Yeah. This could be a trade that maybe I wish I did 4 weeks from now, but I can't really take a chance with Nico still in concussion protocol.
You actually could take a chance because you're one of the teams with 5 wins.
Yeah, I know. I just what if I take the thing? Let me just look at RJ Harvey's stats really quick because I think that
I mean, it just depends on how much you believe in Nico. Nico's a first-round pick, just like Jahmyr Gibbs. RJ Harvey's your value point, right? That's what we're really doing. And you got to look at the fantasy stats and production that Nico's going to give you going forward. You like these other receivers that should help him open up. They have a running game and a good defense.
He's had
and a favorable schedule.
He had RJ Harvey had 16 rushing yards in the last 3 games before Dallas.
Right.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Of course, yeah. I have RJ Harvey in other leagues. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a big game potential, but he's got
Jahmyr Gibbs is the dude, and he's done with his bye week. You know, this is one of those games that Overman is playing, and that everybody who's listening, you'd also be well advised. If you can trade a guy who still has a bye week yet to come for a guy who's already had their bye week, that is an extra week for you to get that production, and that does not account in the fantasy point total, but that is a win. That's something that's very...
Yeah, and Dustino, would you consider that trade? I got Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm light at receiver. He's offering me Nico Collins and RJ Harvey. Harvey just isn't there yet, and I would just be taking such a chance where Jahmyr Gibbs, I could just roll him out there. And he's only had one 40-point game, but I know Jahmyr Gibbs could be that guy for me in the playoffs where he can get me
especially if Montgomery's gone down, they've shown the propensity to absolutely workhorse him, right?
Where Nico and RJ Harvey, they can have weeks where Nico gets hurt and RJ Harvey gets 3 carries, and I'm like, I'm playing against Jahmyr Gibbs who put up 40. It's not a bad trade offer, but
you don't feel.
I'm even thinking, do I counter offer? Hey, you got to throw in Jordan Addison too. Even then, though, I don't even know what Addison's about. It's just there's too much unknown.
You just said it with JJ McCarthy. You don't even know why you would even try to get Jordan Addison if he's going to have a guy who can't get him the ball. He's just got 3 guys with ceiling, but maybe no floor.
Yeah. But we got to kind of wrap things up. Yeah.
Jaguars at the Raiders.
Yeah.
That's an ugly game.
Yeah.
This should be an
nothing to say about that.
Right game. I'm starting Travis Hunter in the league I got him in after the last production before the bye week. Jags are coming off the bye. This should be a Jaguar pro game. God, you imagine taking Jags and Survivor and sweating that out?
And we got a question we got a question in our comments. Nick Button, Harrison Jr. starting with Worthy at my flex, thinking of swapping Worthy with Pittman or Keenan Allen. Yeah, I'm playing Worthy this game, I think. I'm playing Worthy because it's in Buffalo.
You got to start Harrison against Dallas, period. You're starting Njigba, period. So it's definitely
he's saying he's got No, yeah,
so it's either Worthy, Pittman, or Allen.
Chargers are playing Titans, not an offense. They don't need to throw a lot that game. I don't think.
Honestly, I kind of like Worthy going against the Bills. It's one of the higher numbers, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be an offensive game. Worthy gets schemed in a couple ending arounds. Yeah, with Raji Rice back, that ball gets spread around even more. Let me look at Worthy's targets last game.
But I think Keenan Allen is probably the safest play out of the 3, just because I feel like he's going to get 6-7 targets, but they could just be up, so you might not get the production that you want. But
also, Worthy still got 7 targets last game from a game where they were playing from ahead the whole game. I think Raji Rice helps Worthy, right? Because it frees him up so Worthy's not constantly getting battered by the number 1 corner.
Yeah.
Worthy's definitely the number 2. Hollywood Brown's the number 3 in that offense. So I think I'm taking the home run there. I'm putting Worthy. I'm keeping Worthy.
Pittman to me, Worthy Allen. Pittman.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's keep it going. We
just breeze right through. Jags should win at the Raiders. You imagine?
Yeah.
Saints at the Rams. This is my survivor pick. I'm taking the Rams off a bye. I'm home against the Saints. They're the number 1 defense for the week. They should be all Rams all day. If not, the NFL's rigged. That's all I got to say. I agree. About that.
And then Seahawks, Commanders, whatever. Right? I mean, And Johnny T, I agree with you. Well, Marvin Harrison Jr., he drops the ball, and I think it's a confidence thing, but he drops the ball a lot. And Kyler Murray is just not a good NFL quarterback. He's a good highlight reel quarterback, but he's not a good guy when it comes to, getting your ball out to the wideouts. He gets the ball to Trey McBride. But when Brissett's in there, whatever. But Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't think he's a bust because physically he's so gifted and he's so strong. But he's got to, change his scenery.
He might be like a Jamar Chase in waiting. He needs a real quarterback to build the trust into him because he
I'm not
doesn't
lie,
have
though,
belief in Kyler Murray.
I would consider, because Marvin Harrison is only in his he'll be in his third year next year. I would consider maybe trading a first round pick get Marvin Harrison with Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson. Oh God, that might be what Marvin Harrison needs.
Trade him for George Pickens. Get rid of Pickens, who's a head case. Bring in the young talent. They might give him to you straight up. I heard Kalishaw, Dallas Insider, saying Dallas should trade George Pickens immediately and use the value that we have for him before he spreads like cancer. I was like,
no, Johnny, I wouldn't want him over Neighbors. No way. Neighbors is way better,
including with Neighbors is what he's saying. You want
Marvin
to bring
Harrison
him in
as a number two.
Yeah, for sure.
If we have the ninth pick and nobody's there,
Chiefs
give
and
up your
Bills
first round pick. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yep.
Chiefs and Bills. You think this is going to be fireworks? These two quarterbacks, we've seen such great games out of I feel like it's our own version of Manning and Brady right now. I feel like it's the most entertaining game to watch is the Chiefs and Bills.
Yep.
I think this is a good game to go watch at Kitty's. I think I might show up at 4:00 and go hang out and just feel the vibe. And either Pat Mahomes will snatch the heart of thousands, or it'll just be a party all night long, and everyone will be doing shots at Kitty's, right?
No, exactly. And Johnny, that's what you were saying there. Yeah, coming out of the draft, everybody had Marvin Harrison ahead of Neighbors. We got lucky there for sure. Let me ask you a good question. What two NFL quarterbacks have played the most active quarterbacks have played the most against each other that are active right now?
Oh God, this is definitely
so
that are active right now. I'm gonna say who's in that are active right now. Man, I would say Joe Flacco.
Yeah, but versus who?
Right, exactly. But everyone's aged out. That's why I'm instantly.
So go to your next guy.
We'll say
I'll
Mahomes,
tell you this.
We'll say Mahomes versus Lamar.
Yeah,
but he hasn't
you're wrong.
even been healthy, so it can't be.
And it's not Dak. It hurts. You were on the right track. You went to Joe Flacco. Why?
He's been playing in the league.
Who's the
forever,
next quarterback that's been playing? Who's the next quarterback that's been playing the most?
I mean, after Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, right? So it's Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
Who else has been playing a lot?
That's
been in the same division.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not Dak and Hurts, not Flacco and Burrow. Rodgers is one of them.
It's not Goff, right? Because he hasn't been there.
Not Goff.
It's not Goff. Same division, and it can't be.
For the record, I didn't get it right. I thought Mahomes and Allen might be there, but it's Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford.
And Stafford, that's the other one.
And when you say it, right when they said that, I'm like, how did I not know that? Because Green Bay and Detroit were in the same
quarterbacks too. That's what I was trying to draw, and I drew a blank on.
But also, Green Bay and Detroit were in the same division for so long, right? And Stafford, most of his career was with Detroit, right? You don't think of him as a Detroit quarterback because it feels like it was so long ago. But it was Aaron Rodgers and Matt Stafford. I thought that was a great
one. That's good.
Yeah. So we got that.
And then Cowboys home Monday night against the team we were just talking about, the Cardinals. Kyler Murray might be playing. Start everybody from Arizona. Bam night. Start Trey McBride. Obviously, Dallas is going to have to put up points. Maybe we get some timely stops. I mean, Arizona isn't the most quality team, but they are kind of stingy when it comes to their secondary. They've allowed like the fourth least receiving touchdowns in the league or something like that. So this isn't like a great spot. I'm actually starting the Drake over Dak for this week. Home against the Falcons for Drake May. Dak home against the Cardinals. Kind of a little bit of a tough choice, but Dak had such a bad game. I do like him to bounce back a little bit. The Cowboys should win this game. I told you, it should be a one-possession game. It's going to be close. It's going to be Monday night. the Cowboys are either going to win in great fashion or lose in great fashion. I don't think we're getting blown out by the Cardinals, and I don't think we're blowing them out. Like, I think this is just going to be a coin toss, and it'll be whoever has the ball.
Yeah, Arizona's coming off a bye, but I think Dallas defense, pick them up off the waiver wire, and if you need one this week, go play them. I think Dallas' defense is getting so ridiculed throughout all the media for how bad they were last week. What better way on Monday Night Football to bounce back versus lowly Kyler Murray and that
Mr.
team
Pick Six,
that has been horrible this year? Yep. I could see Cowboys defense getting some sacks and they are getting ridiculed in the media. And from what I saw that Denver game, it was a little more of like some blown assignments and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe they still have the talent to do pretty good.
It was our second half performance. We actually hung with Denver in the first half. It's a game of halves. You know how it goes, adjustments. Yeah. All right, so that's NFL, dude. We talked about our own survivor. I'm taking the Rams, highly favored. I know there's a few good teams out there, but there's 34 of us left, and God willing, everybody else will get knocked out but you and me, TJ. Let's go. The whole World Series should come to a finale before our next show. You have a game break today. They resume Friday in Toronto. You're going to have, the Dodgers are fighting for their life. They're back against the wall. They did go in there and win game 2. Can they win a game whenever it's, crucial, defending champs? Here we go. I'm going Jays all the way. And then I think that's all I got to say about that, man. World Series should be over.
Yeah.
Baseball put a little cherry on top, and we'll be all the way into football from here on out.
Blue Jays have surprised us all.
Wembanyama, Jokic, you wanted to talk about Jokic.
Fourth triple-double in a row.
The Magic are 1-4. What's happening?
Magic can't stop anybody.
They lost out there on defense, and I thought that's where they're supposed to hang their hat.
Yeah, I can't figure it out. NBA is super weird, crazy. Super spread out, scores going everywhere.
But yeah,
Lakers won without Luka and LeBron. How do they win that game? But I'm so happy that I don't bet NBA. All right, hey guys, have a great weekend. Let's enjoy the game tonight. Going to be super fun, I think.
Yep, look out for the shorts and props. One love, Prop Stars out.
Yes.